Summer can be brutal in the Mediterranean climate. It's hot and dry for long periods of time, and planting trees and other kind of seedlings right now is often a recipe for disappointment and failure. But that doesn't mean that there's nothing to do. This is the perfect time to prepare for the autumn planting season. In this video, I'll show you 5 powerful and productive ways you can keep moving forwards with your food forest when it's too hot to plant. Plants like this nitrogen-fixing hardy Spanish broom are naturally growing here without any assistance whatsoever. No watering, no fertilizer, they just grow. They're the kind of things that nature is sending in to do the job of recolonizing poor soil. If you've got areas like this dominated by grass and where trees that you want to plant really struggle to take root, then look around you. What have you got growing in abundance that's there naturally? Maybe you could use some of that to help you get started. Rather than seeing plants like this rock rose and the Spanish broom as undesirable weeds, consider that these are the plants that suit the soil conditions that are present right now. They're nature's agents of change, looking to recreate better soil conditions so that other things can succeed from these plants in the future. So why not hitch a ride on that flow of abundance and use what nature's sending you for free? Without any hint of doubt, summer is the harshest time to try and grow things in the Mediterranean climate. So it's actually a useful time to establish where the shadows fall. And this is useful because that will help you decide how to orientate your rows of trees in relation to the sun. What you need to do is choose the hottest time of day. For me, it's 3 p.m. August, middle of August. I'm stood here in the southwest corner of my land. My shadow is being cast in this direction. So I want my shadow to mimic the shadow of taller trees that will give shade to smaller, more delicate trees after they've been planted. So from this point, understanding that the sun, back in this direction behind me, is casting a shadow in this direction. So this is the way I want to plant my rows of trees. Right at the point of where my shadow is, I've laid down this marker, and then at the opposite end of the field, roughly about there, I've laid down the corresponding marker that was in line with my shadow as it went across the land. From this marker, I've laid down other markers at 3-meter intervals. It's important to do this now because the sun changes throughout the year, so you're going to get different results if you wait and maybe you guess when you come to plant. This is a mistake. Do it now, because these rows form the basic architecture of your food forest system. I'm already focused on growing this little patch of food forest, about 20 trees. It takes up quite a lot of my time and resources already. Eventually I want the food forest which is here to extend out over this whole area, cover it all the way down to the tree canopy at the bottom. Yet I know that in this climate, if I was to plant everything all at once, then I'd overburden myself with things to do and I'd probably run out of water. So what's the answer? Use those pioneer species of the rock rose and the Spanish broom to plant globally. Sow those seeds globally, 2 years ahead of the fruit trees. And that's so that I can focus on this area whilst those pioneer species establish themselves out in the grassy area. If you've yet to decide on the layout of your food forest, then it's worth taking the time to do that now. I've made a video, and that's the how to design and lay out a food forest. Go and check that out and then come back to this later. But as for me now, I've got an idea of how I want to lay it out. I've got the seeds, so this Spanish broom and the rock rose. See all these tiny little seeds, maybe not on the camera, yeah, there's tiny little black seeds in there. It's time to start sowing them. After sowing those seeds, I just lay down a layer of mulch just over them all the way along from one post to the other. Sowing these seeds now is about getting ahead of the game, so that these plants can start to take root and start creating the habitat which is more favourable for the more delicate fruit trees that I want to plant later. So say this is year 1, then year maybe 2 or 3, they're going to be growing up tall, and then I start into planting the more delicate species of trees and plants that I want to grow into my food forest. So for now I'm just going to repeat the rest across this whole site and then wait for the rains to come. Another thing you could do during the summer months is propagate from cuttings. Many plants in a food forest suitable for the Mediterranean climate, like mulberries, figs, rosemary and pomegranate, can easily be grown from cuttings. The hot, dry months are a great time to use this method of propagation, as long as you can keep them watered in a shaded nursery space and then let them root. By autumn, what you'll have is a whole new collection of plants at almost no cost. And the beauty is, these cuttings are genetically identical to the parent plant, so you know exactly what you're going to get. Now straight up, this is something that I've recently just learned about, but I haven't done yet. I was looking at ways of scaling up my food forest without spending loads of cash at expensive nurseries. So if you're in the same position as me, then this is for you. Air pruning beds are simple raised containers with a mesh or slatted base that allow roots to self-prune when they hit the air. Instead of circling around like they do in pots, roots stop at the edge and then branch outwards horizontally, creating a strong, fibrous root system that seems to produce trees that are far more successful at taking root after planting. You can use this time now to collect seeds, germinate them, and then have hundreds of healthy, strong growing trees ready for when the rains return. If you found this useful, then give the video a like and subscribe for more tips on growing your own abundant food forest. And let me know in the comments if you've got any useful things to add to this list of things you could do when it's too hot or dry to plant. See you next time.